It's the SDG Podcast. Before we get started, you can check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com/podcast or find us on all the social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Solution Design Group. All right, we're going. We're going to talk about our Mental Health Awareness Day yesterday and stress and all that. But first, I'd like to put a disclaimer out there. None of us are doctors or have any qualifications to provide any kind of medical advice or anything. So, don't sue us if we say something and you do a breathing exercise and pass out and bad things happen. Sorry if that happens. We do apologize. But
if you suddenly become calm and
you've been warned,
well ordered.
So today to talk about this stuff is Bruno Barbosa.
Hello, guys.
Dan Shui.
Oh.
Peter Lawrence.
Hi there.
And I'm Kyle Bacher. And so every year, or for the past few years, during Mental Health Awareness Month, we do a special day where we put puzzles out and have relaxation spaces. And I've done 2 presentations now.
I forgot to steal a coloring book. I mean,
Peter, and
take one of the free ones.
Bruno, I didn't see you there yesterday. Did you come up for it?
No, unfortunately, I was busy. I was coming back from time off, so I had lots to catch up.
That's too bad because it was the best day ever of all time, and you missed out on it. Awesome. Allison's here just in time joining us. Allison Renzo.
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late.
Oh, we just got rolling, and no one has said anything of any importance yet, so you're all good.
Are we supposed to say things of importance?
That's up for debate. I don't know. So Dan, Peter, I know you were there. Allison, how did it go? How did you like it?
I will say this, that is not the most conducive environment for working and supporting your mental health, being in that chaos all day long. I know why Bruno wasn't there, because if I was trying to catch up on anything, I caught up with lots of people. I had a great time. But yeah, you're not heads down coding there, that's for sure. Unless the AI is doing it for you, like some of our coworkers.
Yeah, that's part of what's good about the work from the office days, though. I think is just having a chance to connect with people. But I really enjoyed it. I thought your talk was great, Kyle. Nice job again, 2 years in a row. And I love being able to catch up with people. I'm like we have the other rest of the days to be heads down. You don't have to do it all the time. It's better for your mental health if you're not heads down all the time, right?
Ooh, that's true.
I'm fried. I've been trying to set up a agent.
Chaos.
And there's a piece of it that needs to talk to SharePoint that isn't working. And just the shock of that, the surprise, stressed me out. And working on the presentation, because I always want it to go well. We do kind of pad the numbers by having it on our open office day. It just seems to work out that way.
Yeah.
So how do you de-stress? What's your favorite way of getting rid of stress after a busy day or a busy week?
I like to play my guitar. I've got a bunch of them, and I do that every night. That's always somewhere I can stop thinking about computers and data and work deadlines, and just that's kind of my chief hobby these days.
Perfect. Yeah, I try to do some physical activity of some sort, some sports or something. I used to do volleyball here. I still do some CrossFit as well. It's really cool to connect. I don't normally like to do stuff by myself like that. I think I relax being together with other people sometimes, but having fun that way, right? And doing something. So I think that's what's my kind of escape valve or relief throughout the week.
Allison, how about you?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I know, Kyle, you mentioned that in your presentation for one of the stress relievers is some social gathering, like talking it through so you can kind of get out of your own head about it. And it's a balance, right? Because I'm not a particularly social person, so it's not like I want to be amidst the chaos all the time, but it's a great way if I'm feeling like in over my head, I need to talk to someone else about it to get that perspective. That
I've
always
been
helps,
ending.
you know. Mhm.
Sometimes it's nice just to have somebody reflecting the truth of it. Like, yeah, it's stressful, just hearing it and nodding.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
You don't have to, if someone is talking to you about their stressful stuff, you don't really have to say a lot and solve problems and all that. Just kind of be in there. Having a couple of ears on your head helps. Peter, what do you do?
I've been taking a walk after work every day with my wife. We just go and we got this super boring, and like it's just around the block, and it's a big block, but it's like a mile and a quarter or something like that. And it's just a nice get out. Sometimes we talk about things, sometimes we don't. Enjoy the weather. It's nice when it's warm out and sunny. Other times, like last night, we're like, we got to get going. So we beat the rain. So we did actually beat the rain. So that was fun. But yeah, just that getting out and not thinking about work and just thinking about this long straight path to walk really takes things away and relaxes me.
Do you do that in January?
Yeah, we do. We
Okay,
put on
yeah.
coats and hats and go out and
Yeah.
walk.
Good for you. Yeah, we do that too.
Wrecking all my excuses.
Yeah, we walk too, usually in the evenings, mostly when it's nicer. But yeah, we live in South Minneapolis, so it's nice to walk around here. And we even go out in the morning now that's got nice before work. It's for a block or a couple blocks, yeah.
Yeah, our mornings are still a little compressed. We're still finishing up the school year, so getting everybody off to school and making sure that they leave with the right computer for taking tests, and which my daughter forgot one time. That was a little stressful for her, but they had a spare, so it all worked out.
What about you?
I'm not a big fan of any kind of physical activity ever. But so what I do is watch shows that I've seen 100 times.
Yeah.
Because then I don't even have to think. Sometimes I just want my brain to shut up and leave me alone for a while and just kind of recharge my batteries. Or comedy, something that's going to make me laugh, is good.
What are your favorite reruns?
Well, then this is not a comedy. Fringe is one of my favorite shows of all time. I don't know. I really will watch, sitcoms are very mindless. So, if you're watching Gilligan's Island, Friends, I just skip over the Ross and Rachel stuff, so that it's not depressing and horrible to watch. It's, sometimes it's stand up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I do need to get a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you out of the house and walking around and stuff. And
yeah. And just something else alive in my house that didn't invade just to get food.
Wait,
your pet raccoon ran away?
Yeah. An invited animal. Yes. Yeah. So how do you structure your days to avoid getting too stressed out and too overloaded? Let me start, because I've done this deliberately, and I've wanted to say this. I was thinking about it beforehand. Is I've made my office like a great place to be. I love not having the bright lights on and comfortable chairs for people if they swing by, and
they are nice chairs.
It's like somewhere I want to be. And then what I do is like I don't take work home, and I don't um, really think about it too much. I've really, because I go in every day. Of course, today I'm at home, so I just lied. I try to go in every day, and that way I have a really good division between work life and home life. That's done wonders for me.
Do you not get calls like after hours from people? Like my laptop has started on fire, or I set it on top of my car and it flew off onto the parking lot and it might not work anymore.
No,
Stuff like that? No?
no. One of my demands when I took the job, besides you have to offer it to Peter first, uh, was that I'm not on call. I'm not doing this 24/7. I'm not worrying about having my phone with me all the time. After hours, I'm not going to check Slack. I'm not going to, do any of that stuff. But I do have a phone and it does ring. And if it's something bad enough, call me and talk to me. I'm not going to communicate via Slack for some tech issues and things like that. It's like, because then we can have a conversation about it and I can ask questions and I don't have to sit there and stare at, Peter is typing. Peter is typing.
I want you to solve my VPN questions over Slack. This would be great. We play 300 questions.
But that's interesting, Kyle, because there is a concept called psychohygiene or mental hygiene that says that when you have a clean or a comfortable space where you work and like doing those practices on the daily basis, like make your bed or having your office clean space from time to time, that promotes a little bit of that relief or regulate your overwhelming emotions and stuff like that. And helps a little bit with your mental health as well. So that's one of the concepts in psychology too, regarding how to keep make your environment influence your mental health.
Right. And I would take that a step further and say that your environment is part of your consciousness. So if like it's part of your mental space. So if you're in a chaotic, unsettling environment, you are naturally going to feel unsettled. So for me, I cannot stand to be in a very cluttered workspace. It just makes me feel edgy and anxious. So I have to have kind of a clean, uncluttered space to be in.
I'm so glad we're audio only now. Clutter doesn't bother me like hardly at all. Like if I can get to what I need, like right now I'm at my desk and behind me is a cluttered office full of junk and it's not straightened or cleaned or anything. But I know where everything is.
Right. But if somebody messed it all up, then you'd go nuts, right?
Oh, it would be on. There would be some parking lot justice. What's worse than that though? Than somebody messing it up is somebody cleaning it up.
Yeah.
That's just as bad.
Didn't that just happen?
Yeah, Jonna helped me out, but she knows that she didn't move stuff around or put things in different bins. She just kind of, organized and got stuff off the floor and put in that bug bomb, whatever that thing is. Get rid of all the ticks. Yeah, all that stuff.
Take care of all the stuff.
Yeah. So that was fine. That was actually very nice to come back to from vacation. And my vacation this year was a vacation. I didn't do anything.
That's the way to do it. Nice.
Yeah. Every break I had last year, I was working at my house. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to actually have a reset.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff I learned about stress and all of that preparing for my presentation yesterday. And the reset, having that, your stress level gets to a certain point and then you got to have the reset. And if you don't, then it compounds and then that's when burnout happens. And burnout is a point where you can't hardly even function and do work. And it's like, well, I'm so busy, I'm never going to reset. It's
Yeah.
like, well, you're going to reset it, but it's not going to be your choice when it happens.
Yeah, I call it running on fumes, where you just feel like you barely have enough to just do your stuff, but nothing left over.
And, I remember my dad telling me stories when I was a kid, how he worked 10 years at a bank, right? And I remember he mentioned how the first time he took vacation, he was fine for about 6 to 7 months. And then the following year, he took vacation, then he was fine for about 3 months. And then after a couple of years, like he actually quit because he came back from vacation and was already stressed after a week of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
I can't handle this kind of workspace, right? So yeah, there's that recognition too of when you're
Yeah.
getting to the point.
yeah, we change, and like a situation that might be fine at one point in your life might become intolerable at another time, and then you have to change.
Kind of like going into the office after having not gone into the office for a very,
Yeah.
very long time.
Yeah.
That has changed.
Yeah, it's different now. It used to be just something you had to do. Now it's like it's become almost like, if not optional, at least, it's no longer as mandatory as it used to be, so it's harder to justify.
Well,
And
I
I
think
have to gear up. I have to gear up for it. I have to look ahead on Sunday night and say, which days am I going to be in the office?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to be ready and prepared mentally to hop into the office. I've been going in on Wednesdays again, and it's been
you got to brush your teeth on that day.
No, I have never gotten into the trap of not getting ready for work.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I heard about a lot of times from a lot of folks, is like, just don't even get into that trap. Just get ready for work, put on work clothes, and go to work even when you're at home. Because if you don't, then you are going to be, pretty soon the slope goes way down.
Yeah, eating donuts and binge watching Battlestar Galactica.
do you have cameras in my house, Dan?
Why does the Slack keep pinging me while I'm watching Battlestar Galactica?
But that's something interesting that I remember reading on COVID days, right? Like if you have the option, and I would say privilege, of having a separate environment, a separate room or a dedicated space in your house for work, that should be the shift, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, and that makes a little bit that division, and makes a little bit more of not mixing personal and spaces, and having that more kind of a mindset of, this is my work time and this is my personal time.
Like compartmentalizing it.
Yeah.
If you
like
don't
were
do
saying.
that, oh, sorry, Allison, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, Kyle, you had said that both in your talk and when you were saying you have your office and then you go home from work, and that's like a clear divide. I think the way you can, like Peter was saying, get dressed for work and present your own self can be a part of that compartmentalization as well. It's like, I am in work mode, and then when I'm off work, I can go and put on my pajama pants. But if you roll, and listen, I do this, don't get it twisted, I do this all the time, but if I roll into my desk in my pajama pants, mentally it's all a little bit more connolled, right?
Yeah.
The lines are blurred.
Mr. Rogers showed us that for the last 60 years. It's like, when you come in, you put on your tennis shoes and your sweater. When you go home, you put your dress shoes and your suit coat back on, and off you go.
Yeah, he set the bar pretty high for us mere mortals.
Yeah, now it's like, the pajama pants and stuff has leaked out into the office. It's like, okay, we need to like have a little reset on dress code, just a little one. We got a little too comfortable, but now we're back. a bathrobe is not appropriate for work, but it's so comfortable. Yeah, I do that. When I get home, I change clothes immediately. Yeah,
Yeah.
That changing.
get comfortable. That's another thing I think is important is being comfortable.
Mhm.
Like make your workspace one that doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
That's been
Yeah.
too hot, too light, too dark. Like there's
Yeah.
always that kind of that balance, right? Of oh,
Mhm.
this is comfortable, this is not.
Yeah, if you're sitting in a terrible chair all day, you're not going to be in a good mental space by the end of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's one plus about like working more from home. It's like I said, I'm all for like having a work wardrobe, but I'm not wearing heels that much anymore, which is great if we're talking
Me
about
either.
comfort. Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
right? It's a brave new world. Yeah. So comfortable comparison. And, it's, I think as well, having more control over your environment at home. So you can change the lighting, you can change the
Mhm,
thermostat
right.
however you want. You can open the window, like
Yeah.
having that control. It's really choice.
I worked at a place before STG and I had these obnoxious fluorescent lights right over my cube. And one day I got so tired of it, so I got up on my chair and I like just twisted them, so they were still up there, but they weren't on. And later this guy came by and he turned them back on, and then he scolded me. He said, "You have to put in a ticket to the maintenance people to do that." So then I put a ticket in and they came and took them out for me.
Thanks, homeowners association. Stay out of my office. Yeah. No, I think
But-
lighting is important. We have, and I don't even know if they do fluorescent lights anymore. All the lights in our office are LED.
LEDs
So
are
the
way better.
flickering part of it is not as bad. For me though, the brightness kind of
Yep.
will get to me. I like it dim.
I've got a smart bulb on one of my lamps. Those are cool. You can make them any color you want, or there's all
Mhm.
these cool like little settings like Mystic Sunset or something. I don't know. It's awesome.
Dude, and something as silly, like we're talking about brightness and stuff, something as silly as the brightness of your screen can actually
Yeah.
do some injuries, I would say, right? Some kind of problems with you. And I remember
have-
in the CRT monitor ages,
Oh.
right? Going home like a headache for many
Yeah.
days
Oh.
because I had like the brightness or something too high.
Cathode ray bombardment.
I had a gig quite a few years ago now, and they had very limited office space. So they had like 4 of us in one office.
Yeah.
And I was like on the other side of the pedestal, and they had me in a guest chair. And I have wide hips, and I'm a large man with large needs. And the arms of this chair were just digging into my hips all day.
Mhm.
And finally, I was like, can you get me a different chair? And it's like, this is all we have. And I said, well, I'm going to work from home until I can get a better chair because I just can't. I said, it doesn't do us any good if I'm in pain for like
Yeah.
6 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did, and then I got a better chair. And then my CM was like, why didn't you tell us? We would have brought you a chair. Because I'm an idiot. And I'm just going to put this out there. If any of our consultants are listening and you're sitting in a horrible chair at a customer site, I will drive a chair out to you. Like if you need one, you do
There's
not
somebody-
have to suffer because of a
Somebody
chair.
who brought their own chair into the office. I mean, I bring my own keyboard usually, but chairs are in the before times, before COVID, the office chair that I worked in during the day was way better than the office chair I worked in at home because I'd, buy the $100 Office Max special and be like, yep, it's a chair, goes up and down, good enough. And once I was working
Yeah.
from home, it's like, nope, I need steel case starting
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's what I have too. It's totally worth it because you can really, especially as you get older, you can really wreck yourself by not
Right.
having good ergonomic stuff. So this discussion is all. Just kind of want to put a point on it. Like, I think one of the things we're hearing is that your mental health is like closely. We kind of have this artificial divide in our society where the mental and the physical, and they're really not separate things. And it's kind of obvious by you can make yourself mentally miserable by being physically miserable quite easily.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the, processes in the brain, it's like the stigma behind it, is kind of misplaced. Well, yeah, it's very misplaced. And that's, I think, kind of just having an understanding that this is a lot of wiring. Like, people didn't decide to be the way they are in every respect. Yeah, we're responsible for our decisions, and we or I sometimes make horrible ones. Metal detector, buying a boat. Let's see. But yeah, it's brain chemistry and limbic system, and I had 3 slides that I put together. I put a lot of work in diagrams of the brain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
Bruno slides. Yeah.
I took up for Bruno's presentation.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the vagus nerve. That's like, we used to kind of think your brain, it was all up here because it feels like it's up here. But now we know the brain is like it's kind of spread out through your whole body, like through the vagus nerve and all sorts of other neural connections.
It's amazing how this word, what is it? A certain state your vagus nerve puts you in, sympathetic,
Yeah. What was it?
Parasympathetic.
Sympathetic or something.
parasympathetic state,
Sympathetic.
which is
Yeah.
the more relaxed state, versus the stressed out, like, getting pumped full of chemicals, fight or flight, the stressful state from a less stressful state is related to that nerve. And there's so many, because I've watched so many videos on stress and things like that. There's like 600 ways to reset it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you just put your thumb here and press for like 60 seconds, that'll do it.
Really?
Or that breathing exercise.
Mhm.
Was
stuff
that
like
thing? Was that thing Spock used to do, or he did?
That was
Vulcan nerve
that's,
pinch.
yeah, that's more relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Speaking
that'll
of
just
breathing,
make you go right to sleep.
yeah, speaking of breathing, that is a big part of the way that I get rid of work stress at work, is just take a moment, calm down. You're not in the woods anymore. There's no predators after you. You're in an office. This too shall pass. Let's get through this, and away we go. Just kind of.
Yeah, pretty much every mindfulness tradition that you'll learn about, and it starts with breathing. I mean, there's a reason for that. It's like the most fundamental thing we do, really, as organisms.
Yeah,
I know. I like doing it. I like to breathe.
But
It sucks when you can't do it.
Yeah.
Something really interesting is like I don't know if this sounds going to sound kind of weird, but I like to do some experiments with my two-year-old daughter in stages like that. But it's pretty little experiments like this, right? Like we're talking about breathing. So sometimes I know she's stressed. She wants to do something she can't, and then she starts crying for any other reason. It's really interesting when you hold her and simply breathe, like do deep breaths with her together, like in my chest. In a matter of 10 seconds, she's kind of trying to equalize the same kind of breathing that I'm at, and then she calms down, right? Kind of little things like that, how interesting it is, like the breathing and any other stuff, like physical to mental, like how that connection transforms, how you can actually also influence other people by being the calm on that storm close to another person.
Yeah. Kyle talked about that a little bit at his thing yesterday about how you can sort of like infect nearby like consciousnesses with your like negative speech. And this is like a mindfulness thing too, like especially in the Buddhist tradition, there's this idea of right speech. And the idea is like, be careful about what you say, because words are going to land with the people around you that perceive, that absorb, hear those words, and they will have an impact on those people. So you should be intentional when you use words. And that's, this stuff spreads. It does spread through. There's like a human field, and we infect each other with our emotions and our, anxieties and our hope and our peace.
Just even the rumor of a layoff at a company will ignite the entire office.
Yep.
Or even a volleyball game, like I have.
I think I've learned to try to not take on someone else's like state, their stress, because I'm in a support role, and there's people that do important things, and when their systems have issues, or they just, even if they just don't know how to do something and they've been working on figuring out for like 3 hours, and when they come to me, they're not relaxed and chill and, hey, my computer's broken, but it's cool. I got nothing to do. No, it's sometimes it's kind of close to panic, and I don't want to be panicked, because then I can't think and solve their issues and help them out. So I try to make them feel better and, kind of bring the stress level down. And if I can get them laughing, then that's great, because then I know they're not like in that horrible state, at least. And then when I solve their issues, and help them out, it's like watching that like panic and that stress just melt. Is one of the best part of my jobs, like seeing people, just that relief, finding your wallet. I found my phone. Oh, that's the best.
That's an awesome feeling.
The phone is the new wallet.
You're reminding me I lost my badge Thursday morning, or Wednesday night. I came home. I wore my badge through the entire golf course, and then apparently I took it off and put it in my golf bag, because I thought that was where I wanted to keep it for the next day, because that's what I was going to do. Not so, but I did figure it out pretty quickly, thankfully. But losing stuff is a little bit of a shock to the system sometimes, and you just have to remember, where have I been? What have I done?
Well, there's more than one of you. There's the one that hides the badge where the other one's not gonna find it later.
Yeah. That guy thinks they're the greatest places to put things, like, I'll just put this on this shelf and then I'll find it for sure till the next day. And it's like, I know I put it somewhere clever, but I don't remember where. My wife gets mad, and she always has to look up for things, because I always put them on the high shelves and stuff like that instead of down low.
Yeah, I think back to something Bruno said about something I said, or maybe Dan said, is the impact you have on the people around you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that can reverberate. One of the things that when I was researching all of this is venting is stressing someone else out, and it's not really resolving. It's not talking and processing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a one-way broadcast of pain that affects the other person and doesn't really give you relief. It just compounds the issue. And it's like, so, you always, hey man, I just need to vent. It's like, oh, please don't, but I'll talk to you and I'll listen, and we can process through this and stuff. But I'm not going to just sit here and let you complain about politics for an hour, and things like that. It's like,
I appreciated you calling that out for sure, because it reminds me. So I've got young kids too. I've got twin 2.5-year-olds, and they keep me emotional a lot of the time. And so sometimes I get really riled up and frustrated, right? So I've read all sorts of articles about, like, what do you do? Because I don't want to project that to my kids. They're just being kids, it's not their fault or whatever. So how do I calm down? And a lot of the advice is like, don't, even if you go somewhere else, even if you're not in front of your kids, like don't swear, don't slam stuff, don't punch pillows, a lot of the stuff that you typically hear, because it riles you up. And I think it's very much the same as venting, is you're monologuing yourself deeper into the emotion.
Yeah.
You're spiraling a little bit. Whereas I think your counterpoint to that, Kyle, was like process it, like actually talk it through, talk it to like a neutral party, maybe take some distance first, which is, it aligns to the advice that I've heard, is like just remove yourself from the situation, take your breaths, try to actually like talk things through with someone after you had like a little bit of a break from it. And I also appreciated the point about venting, because that's something that I found in work, in terms of like, do you ever have the people who will always kind of like group together and gossip after something happens, or like complain about someone, or like there's like these little click moments that can form where it's like, it can feel good. It can feel like we're bonding because we're complaining about someone else or talking crap. But we once had a speaker at a company I used to work at whose whole point was like, it can feel good for a second, but it raises a lot of negative feelings. It's kind of like the venting thing. You're cycling this negative energy, and you're perpetuating this distrustful atmosphere amongst your team, where not only will the person being talked about might feel like a lack of trust if they find out about it, but even those people engaging in it will have lower trust in their team, because they know they're on a team who does that. So how do I know they're not doing that behind my back elsewhere? Like, even if I'm an active participant, I'm digging myself deeper in a way into this distrustful, unhealthy mental space.
Yeah, and a lot of times when people are doing stuff like that, they're just trying to reinforce these old stale opinions that they have that just get harder and harder, instead of questioning whether these opinions are even useful anymore in the first place, because most of the time they're not. We have these models of the world. We don't really interact with it directly. So we have these models about how things are and how people are, and they're mostly inaccurate, because once you get to know people, your little idea of who they were gets fleshed out, and people are way more complex and interesting than your probably simple little model is. But a lot of times people, I think they feel threatened, and so they want to be around people that reinforce these opinions, when they really should be questioning those opinions and figuring out whether they're of any utility in their lives anymore, or whether they should just abandon them and be open to, what's happening and not what they expect to be happening.
Well, consulting, there's a lot of like components that are stressful, but there's ways that you can kind of deal with it. And I would go into a lot of projects that were not doing so great, and it wasn't infrequent that somebody would like want to get to know me right away and bring me into their like circle of drama, and or they want to warn me about somebody. So I made a rule, I made a rule, like, I'm not going to let somebody else make a first impression for me. I will meet that person and talk to them and get to know them, and then I will make my own decision on how horrible they are, which is never as horrible as they're made out to be. Another thing I did, after being mad at my family members for 50 years, is realizing that I was mad at people that don't exist anymore. They're ghosts. Not that they're gone, but they've changed, they've grown, they're different people than they used to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I having these fights with these ghosts in my head? And once I let go of that, it was life-changing. It changed my relationships. It was very enlightening.
I was going to talk to you about that, because I read a book recently. It's a really old kind of a Taoist text from, I think it's from the 1700s or something, but it's this old like Chinese interpretation of these Taoist principles. And there's a phase in this book. Each chapter is kind of talking about stages of human psychological development. And there's a phase they call in this ancient text, always living with ghosts. And that's how it translated in the edition I read. It's, of course, in Sanskrit or Chinese or something originally. But what it's about is this idea that a lot of people are going around just kind of with memories and fears about the future, and all these things are fictions, but they're taking up all of their cognitive time, just thinking about these things that aren't even real. And that's what I thought of when you talked about that, the bully. You said you're mad at the bully from high school, but that bully's just a ghost because the guy's grown up now and he's got kids and he's a totally different person.
And a couple of things here, and this is really interesting. The first thing that I wanted to bring is there are some theories that say that some traumas that we have can take up to 4 generations to recover, right? So one example that was given to me was a family that died in a fire in a house or something like that, and there was just one survivor, and that survivor was afraid of fire, and their descendants, and then the 4th generation was the one that started to not be afraid of fire, because you have that tendency of kind of bring that trauma forward or project that trauma forward to other people that are close to you as well, right? But this is kind of one of these things regarding kind of the things that you learn when the traumas or little kind of experience or bad experience you have as a kid, and you grow with them, and then you don't grow out of them, which it's kind of different. And it's interesting because one of the ways to process that, right, like Allison and Kyle were talking before, like we try to think that venting sometimes is a way to process those things, but venting is a lot more circumstantial, right? Of something that you just had and you still have that kind of bad state of mind and you want to get rid of it and try to project or throw that away another person. But if you think about it, processing and even the traumas or some bad circumstances you had at work, if you were talking about that to someone just to vent, just to talk about it, you're probably going to revive all those feelings again, and that's not going to cure you, right? Part of the process is actually trying to think what needs to be done. So if you think about it, if you were having a bad experience as a consultant, you had a better experience with someone, it's very different if you think about it. If you have to talk to someone to vent, and to talk to someone to try to solve it, are going to be 2 very different mindsets. Like, because you have to prepare yourself to talk to someone that can solve that problem instead of just like doing your automatic and just complain about something to anyone, right? So kind of part of the process of this cure, like to recover or to get better, it's trying to talk about these things, but in a proactive way towards the cure. And normally some of these things, because this is also something that I learned, anything that is secret, it's toxic. So if there's something that that shouldn't be there, or you don't think it should be there, like, and keep that to yourself, this is also not good for you. So, but you also don't want to talk about that kind of stuff with people that might be involved in that circumstances. So you probably should try to talk that through, but with people that are not involved in that circumstances, and preferably people that don't even know those people in the first place. So that way you can actually treat yourself. You're not necessarily treating the circumstances, but you're trying to treat yourself, but moving toward the more positive mindset to you, right? Cure yourself.
That's interesting because, like, you guys are talking about venting and stuff like that. And we always, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years ago, it was thought of as cathartic, right? Like, oh, this is just vent it. It's like venting.
Get it off your chest.
Get it off your chest. It's gone or whatever. But I think the thinking about that has come full circle and said, no, maybe not reliving the same bad experience over and over is not a healthy way to do it. So, and speaking of that, like mental health, has changed dramatically in the last decade, really.
Yeah.
Just the stigma of it has gone not completely away, but is on its way out. And just embracing and talking about things is is a whole different world than I grew up in.
Yeah, yeah. My daughter's generations, them and all their friends have therapists. It's just
Right.
something you do. You get a therapist. Like, and when I grew up, and maybe you too, Peter, like you were not supposed to talk about any of this stuff. Like,
No.
so especially like if you're a guy, you were just supposed to like, you just man up and shove it down.
You're either in the state hospital or you're normal. Those are the two choices.
Yeah.
And there was nothing in between.
Yeah. What's, like the experience of listening to somebody in your life from like a past generation, like the stuff they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how am I only hearing about this the first time? I've known you for 50 years. And this is like, and you're just talking about it now. And it's like, yeah, because you just, don't talk about that stuff. And if you don't talk about it, people don't know about it. And then you can't deal with it.
Right.
Yeah. The younger generations are way better at talking about this stuff than the generation I came from.
It's just like part of their personality. It's part of the face they show to the world.
Well, it's become normalized. I think the stigma, at least in this country, is a lot less than it used to be. I mean, they didn't used to even call it, like, they didn't have, like, you had a nervous breakdown. If somebody just couldn't cope anymore, it was a nervous breakdown. That was just like a bucket you threw everything in. He's like, mom can't get out of bed and go to work anymore because she had a nervous breakdown.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and putting the word health after mental, I think, has helped quite a bit too, right? It's not just you're not just mental, you're dealing with your mental health and making yourself better.
Well, and Kyle, you even mentioned in your talk that like a big part of the treatment gap is like insurance and what insurance will cover. And, if you have to find all this stuff on your own, it can be hard. But I was really encouraged by like, what was her name who spoke after you, who told us all about
Laura Zenk.
Yeah, she spent a long time listing this whole slew of resources available to us. I'm sure it's been in documents and stuff. I'm sure it's my own fault for not knowing, but like, wow, there's a lot of free sessions that you can get and free support to work through all these like crazy life events that could otherwise really sink you under the stress of them. So I think that's encouraging too.
3 counseling sessions per issue.
So you got to diversify your issues, folks.
Yeah, you got to have a diverse set of issues.
Yeah, that's right.
Make sure there's clear delineation between them, so you don't get a surprise
Mental health
bill.
is like investing. Don't put all your traumas in one basket. Spread them around.
I think like trying to structure your life, and I used to see all the people in my life as the people I need to take care of. And I was never one of them. Right. And it's like, I started putting them on that, putting myself on that list. And that helped a ton. It's like, okay, now I got to take care of this guy because,
that's what Bruno was kind of alluding to. It's like put on your own your oxygen mask first, right? If you can't breathe, you're not going to be any help to anybody else.
Yeah, one thing I think I talked about this is not taking on the full weight of someone else's like problems. Like being able to emphasize, but it's like they're not, and it's not the phrase, hey, it's not my problem. It's like it's not flippant, but it's like it's not your problem.
Right.
So you don't have to take all the pain of it. Because you're going to have enough of your problems that give you enough of your pain to deal with. You don't need to add to it. That doesn't mean that you don't have to have empathy or like, I mean, nobody, I hope, feels good that people around them are going through stuff, but just don't amplify that bad experience. And set boundaries. That's so important.
Yeah,
And so hard.
Jess Herdigan has a phrase that I find helpful. She says, "We should care but not carry," which I think sums it up. Like she uses that in terms of your interactions with your client, but it's more general than that. Like you can be empathetic and you can listen to somebody, you can care about their problems, but you don't have to carry their load.
Yeah, I have a sign here that was told me, like that one over there. I don't know if you guys can read, but it was something that was told me in the very beginning of my consultant life. It's written, "Not my circus, not my monkeys," because I used to take care of all in the beginning, like try to bring it all on my shoulders, and yeah, it was a fun experience.
Yeah, you should bring your own monkey though.
Yeah.
So we got a couple minutes left. Anybody have any parting thoughts before we shut her down for the day?
Do mental health. Don't ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Second that.
Find one thing amongst the millions of options to try. And like it, Kyle made the point of there's all these different types of stresses that compile and turn into a chain. If you can find a way to do one thing to disrupt that chain, it can help a lot. So I think that was wise.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, do something for yourself at least once a day, like thoughtfully, right? Something that's gonna bring some pleasure to you at some aspect, like watch a series that you like or anything like that. At least once a day, you should be able to do something like that. Not think about the other stuff that are bothering you. I think that's a really good one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have so many. Breathe. Watch cartoons.
You can do both at the same time.
Whoa,
Yes.
don't go crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Hey, feel better. That's all I'm saying. Hey,
there
get
you
over
go.
it. Walk it off. Rub some dirt
Yeah.
on it. It'll be fine. One thing I will say is everybody carries their own load, and they're not all the same. And somebody's like number 10 on the pain list might not be yours, and yours might not be theirs. And it's not a contest. And it's like the idea that the only person that gets to complain or have issues is the person that has the most issues. And it's like, no, we all have a right to our problems and to our pain and to call it out and to deal with it. That's all. I didn't really end that well.
We'll clean it up in post.
I just bailed on the sentence early. Well, thanks for being here and talking about this stuff. I feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
And I
Thanks for
think
talking
I think with that we can shut her down and say goodbye, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good to see ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Solution Design Group is a digital product consultancy in Minneapolis. Check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com or look for us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Solution Design Group.